when they go to they go up the stairs, and we started out with a pink and green combination, which was inspired on some still photography we saw, but also, you know, it's a whole thing, but the movie, unifying color for the movie was red elements of red, different types of red. In Mexico, remember the red dress that she wears, and there are different, but it's a primary red. So every time you see red in the Mexican scenes, it's primary. In Morocco, we used sort of an umber red, so that was mostly in the production design. And some of the costumes, or even the bus, the seats were that color, things like that. In Japan, it was pink or purplish red, let's say. So that's why I used that red combined with green for that part of the club. Then I changed to yellow and red, which, strangely enough, just a quick anecdote, was inspired on a music video that I saw that had that combination of color, yellow and red. And it turns out that now the director I'm working with, Francis Lawrence, had directed this music video at Audio Slave with those colors. And I loved it, and I showed it to Alejandro and showed it to everybody, let's do these colors. And anyway, so that was, now I learned that Francis directed that video, so anyway, that's funny. It's serendipity, yeah. And then, as she realizes that, you know, her friend is the one who got the guy, then we go into the just strobing mode, colorless. So that was all designed, and it was so much fun to come up with it, test it, and then when we were shooting it, I was operating the camera, and again, we shot every angle you see, well, most every angle, were started with them downstairs in the lockers, went upstairs with the camera, and then just continued the scene until we rolled out 400 feet.
Oh wow! So it was all one long take.
Every angle. So okay, now let's focus on the friend. So okay, we started downstairs and ended up on the friend. Now let's do a version where you focus on her. Okay, so on her. So it was physically exhausting, but it was really exciting. My gaffer was you know, with the lighting person. He was in like a little cubicle, and he could see me down there. So I would give him signals with my free hand when to change the lighting. When I saw the action went into a different mode, then I'd go like that, and he'd change to yellow and red, and then, you know, then I'd go like that.
While you're holding the camera?
Yeah. So that was real fun. I mean, it was tiring, but it was like, you know, dancing with the camera.
It's amazing.
And what's most amazing, I must say, is that it's in focus. It's impossible. This focus puller, Arturo Castañeda from Mexico, that did Amores Perros and collaborated with me on several movies, he can't work here because of the union and all that. But whenever it's not in the US, I take him, and he's a magician. How in the world can you keep, you know, I was just, you know, panning wherever I thought, and no marks, and lights is flashing, and he nailed it. Incredible. So anyway, that was...
Well, I mean, it really shows all the pre-production and planning that you do beforehand. Now, even hearing you talk about this, well, obviously the sound design and the editing, it just you can totally see how this all fits together perfectly with this film. We'll take one question, and then we've got to move on to the next reel.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was ever difficult for you, being so immersed in camera operating, was it ever difficult to just step outside of that and then, you know, look at the bigger picture of doing your work as a director of photography? Because I know a lot of people that are cinematographers don't necessarily do it. Or do you feel liberated that you see the frame, and sometimes it's really difficult to communicate the exact shot that you want, and so it almost makes it easier. I mean, where along those lines do?
Yeah. Well, since I grew up operating in Mexico, that's the way I started. That's the way I learned to work. So I've tried it. I've tried not operating. I did that on Original Sin, and hated it. It didn't make it quicker. It didn't help at all. I just suffered through it. You know, seeing the monitor like, you know, and it didn't give me more time. It was the same thing. I'm just so used to, while I'm preparing the shot, while I'm preparing the camera, I'm you know, designing the framing. The idea is also about lighting our coming, and I'm realizing exactly what the edges of the frame are, and I can know where I can put the light, and you know, and it's more work. It's exhausting, but I enjoy it, and also I get to see firsthand the performances, and everything's pristine, and I'm seeing through the lens and not in a monitor. I see exactly what's happening, and monitors can be very deceiving. So that's another reason I like doing it. And on Alexander, I didn't operate either, but that was, it wasn't, you know, so many cameras and all that, it was just very difficult. That I decided that was a good idea, because I had a very good operator on the 8 camera, George Richmond, amazing. So that was a big relief. And you know, most of the time we had at least 3 cameras rolling, even, you know, in every scene. So that way at least I could have an overview of what's happening. But when it's a 1 camera or maybe 2 camera show, then